Humans tame Deathworld predators just to have something soft to pet Dr. Zephyr's 4 eyes blinked in perfect synchronization as her transport ship descended toward the human research station on Kepler 442b. The planet's crimson sky reminded her why most civilized species avoided death worlds entirely. Her mission was simple: evaluate human colonization methods for the Galactic Council. What she found would challenge everything she thought she knew about survival. The airlock hissed open, revealing a human woman in a lab coat. Dr. Zephyr, welcome to Haven Station. I'm Dr. Sarah Chun, lead researcher here. The human's smile seemed genuine, though Zephyr noticed scratch marks on her arms. Ready for the tour? As they walked through the station's corridors, Zephyr's sensitive hearing picked up strange sounds. Growls, chirps, and what sounded like purring. Dr. Chun, what exactly do you research here? She asked, her translator working overtime to convey her growing nervousness. Oh, we study interspecies bonding, Sarah replied cheerfully. Come meet Rex. They entered a large chamber where Zephyr froze in terror. A massive creature lounged in the center, its obsidian scales gleaming under the lights. The beast stood 8 feet tall, with razor-sharp claws and teeth designed for ripping flesh. According to her scanner, it was a Kepler Ravager, a Class 8 apex predator. Rex, come here, boy. Sarah called out. The monster's head swiveled toward them, and Zephyr prepared to run. Instead, the creature made a sound that could only be described as happy rumbling. It bounded over like an oversized puppy, careful not to knock anything over with its massive frame. Good boy. Sarah scratched behind what Zephyr assumed were ears. The Ravager's eyes closed in contentment, and it began that strange purring sound again. Dr. Zephyr, meet Rex. He's been with our team for 3 years now. Zephyr's legs felt weak. How? How are you still alive? Trust, Sarah said, simply. Rex was orphaned when we first arrived. We could have left him to die, but humans don't work that way. We bottle-fed him, taught him to trust us. Now he's part of our family. The tour continued, each revelation more shocking than the last. In the hydroponics bay, a human named Marcus worked alongside a thornback crawler, a creature whose poison could drop a full-grown centaurian in seconds. The human had somehow convinced it to help tend plants in exchange for gentle stroking of its chitinous shell. They're actually quite intelligent, Marcus explained as the crawler leaned into his touch. Luna here can identify plant diseases faster than our scanners. She just needed someone to believe in her. In the recreation area, Zephyr watched a group of humans playing with what her database classified as void stalkers, predators that hunted in packs and could phase through solid matter. The creatures were engaged in what appeared to be a game of tag, their ethereal forms flickering with excitement. How do you make them solid? Zephyr asked a human child who couldn't have been more than 12. You don't make them, the girl replied, giggling as a void stalker materialized to nuzzle her hand. You ask them. They like being petted, so they choose to be solid for us. Dr. Chun led Zephyr to the research lab, where holographic displays showed years of behavioral studies. We've documented over 200 species on this planet, she explained. Every single one responded to patience, consistency, and genuine affection. It's not magic, it's understanding. But why? Zephyr's voice cracked. Why risk your lives for creatures that could kill you? Sarah's expression grew thoughtful. Because they're not just creatures. They're individuals with thoughts, feelings, and needs. When you take the time to see that the danger becomes secondary to the connection, she pulled up a video of Rex as a baby, small enough to hold in human hands. Every species has its own way of showing love. Rex brings me interesting rocks. Luna draws patterns in the dirt with her claws. The void stalkers sing, though it's outside most species' hearing range. That evening, Zephyr found herself in the common area, nervously approaching a small creature that looked like a cross between a hedgehog and a dragon. According to her scanner, it was a spike mourner named for the venomous spines that covered its back. That's Pip, Sarah said, sitting beside her. He's our newest rescue. Lost his pack to a landslide last month. The creature looked up at Zephyr with large, sorrowful eyes. Despite every instinct screaming danger, she slowly extended one of her appendages. Pip sniffed it cautiously, then pressed his snout against her skin. The gesture was so gentle, so trusting, that Zephyr felt something crack inside her chest. "He's choosing to retract his spines," Sarah whispered. "He's making himself vulnerable because he trusts you." Zephyr's eyes filled with tears, a physiological response her species shared with humans. "I understand now," she said softly. "It's not about conquering them. It's about connecting with them." 3 months later, the Galactic Council received Dr. Zephyr's report. The chamber fell silent as she presented her findings, accompanied by video evidence of humans living in harmony with the galaxy's most dangerous predators. "The humans have achieved something we thought impossible," she concluded. "They've turned enemies into family through nothing more than patience, understanding, and love." The council erupted in debate. Some called it madness. Others saw opportunity. But when Zephyr showed them the footage of human children playing safely with creatures that could annihilate entire armies, the arguments faded. "How do we learn this skill?" asked the Centaurian representative. "We don't," Zephyr replied. "We learn from them." Humans have offered to teach any species willing to open their hearts to the possibility of connection. Within a year, the human bonding protocol became standard training for all colonization missions. Humans found themselves in unprecedented demand as consultants, teaching other species how to see past fear and find friendship in the most unlikely places to doctor. Sarah Chun often smiled when she received messages from across the galaxy, images of Centaurians cuddling with crystal spiders, Rigelians playing fetch with plasma hounds, and Andromedans sharing meals with creatures that used to be considered myths. But perhaps the most meaningful message came from Dr. Zephyr herself. The attached photo showed her surrounded by a family of spike mourners, all purring contentedly as she read them a bedtime story. The caption read, "Thank you for teaching us that the universe is full of friends we haven't met yet. Humanity's greatest export wasn't their technology or their weapons. It was their ability to look at a monster and see a friend waiting to be loved. And somehow, against all logic and survival instincts, they were almost always right. In the end, that was what made humans special in the galaxy. Not their strength or their intelligence, but their endless capacity to extend a hand in friendship to any creature willing to accept it. They had turned the most dangerous planets into homes, not through conquest, but through compassion, and the universe was softer for it.